So I was getting a phone call, and this is what I can't stand about iPhone. I don't know if it's the iPhone that only do that, but sometimes the call will come down, and then when you try to push it up, it stops the video. So now I gotta make this a part 2, and I was about to get off actually because I'm getting a headache. The Ethiopian girl had this one guy. She was homeless, and she moved in with this guy, and he was taking care of her. The Bayesian or Jamaican girl, she had multiple guys, and they were all giving her money. The girl, the black girl, the Bayesian girl, she constantly had drama. Every time she called me, it was some drama. She was getting kicked out of some guy's house, getting beat up. Somebody would tell her they was going to give her the money. They didn't want to pay for her Uber. It was just always some toxic shit. The Ethiopian girl, she was quiet for a while. So I'm thinking she's getting taken care of, everything good. Come to find out, this dude was pimping her out. He was making her urinate. He would urinate in her vajayjay. Urinate on her face and take footage. I don't know if he was making porn with it, but this white dude was turning her the F out. And then one day she called him. We'd never heard the conversation between them two, but she had finally called him, and we could hear a little bit, because now me and the girl, the Bayesian girl, we nosy, because we're like, damn, this guy turning her out. The Bayesian girl used to call her all kind of names. I'm not the type of person. I would just listen to the story and be like, can you just find someplace else to stay? You want to come stay with me? Like, that don't even sound right. The Bayesian girl be like, girl, you stupid. You let him do what? Meanwhile, she getting knocked upside her head for a Gucci bag. So the Ethiopian girl, the phone is ringing again. I'm just leave it alone. Is it stopping the video? Anyways, I'm trying to see if it's going to stop. Because I can't see if it's still recording until this phone call moves out the way. Let me have a check. Okay, it's still recording. The Ethiopian girl was getting turned out, and she wasn't happy about it. When she called her so-called boyfriend, her pimp, I heard him using such vulgar language like F this, what time you effing coming home, you always out with your friends, because she would like after school she wouldn't want to go straight home. She would go shopping with us or hang out. We'd go eat, stuff like that around the city. She wouldn't get home late. She was just hanging out like when we get out of school. But he was treating her like he was a toxic father. And eventually she had to get out that situation. She had finally got a room to rent. But my point is this. These young girls, they leave their mama house thinking that stuff is good on the other side because they don't want to follow rules. Sometimes the parents be toxic. Sometimes the moms have a toxic boyfriend that's doing ungodly things to them. And then they have no choice but to leave that home. And they end up going with these guys and they get pregnant. And then they're stuck with a baby. So now they're making more rash decisions from a rash situation. My suggestion is go to a shelter. Go get help from the city. Do not go to these men looking for money, because they're going to pimp you out. Even let's say he's a good man, a decent man. Chances are you bringing him into a situation that he may not mentally be ready for, and he may start treating you bad because now he got to take care of somebody else's kid that he wasn't even ready for. He may start trying to mold you into something you don't want to be. He might start controlling you. You don't know. And if you're mentally not ready, you may become a bad partner towards him. That type of situation can happen. But that situation is a little bit better than the typical situations where you got these young girls, they get dressed up, they go out to the club thinking they're going to find them a baller. They trap a baller. He don't know her whole story. He just sees the package. He sees a nice looking lady at the club. She looked like she got her shit together. But then he hears the horror stories when he gets on the phone with her, when he takes her out on dates. And then here comes the manipulation games. So now you got to become a bad person just to get a few dollars from these men. You got to start manipulating and lying. And they're like, well, at least he's getting sex out the deal. It's not about he's getting sex. What is it doing to you? You listening to these older women that's telling you your pussy ain't worth nothing. You might as well get some money for it. It's horrible advice, because the same chick that's giving out that advice is a married woman. And she's been married for over 10 years. So how can she tell you to go out there and be promiscuous when she's got a whole husband at home and 2 children in a cushy life, making money off of YouTube, marketing bad advice that she doesn't even follow? So she's in a level of cognitive dissonance, because when you heard her backstory, she tried to make it sound like she bagged a sugar daddy, when in all actuality, he was using her. When he first met her, he was using her. She was spending all her time trying to build his business. She was a Bob the Builder. The dude was still starting out, struggling with his computer engineering business, and she was the one spending all her quality time investing into him. Then when he started making a lot of money, he started fucking other women, and she was feeling some type of way. Okay, she became the side chick. Like, y'all gotta wake up. This is not reality. No man is out here just making it rain on you for nothing. Okay? When you go to these strip clubs and you see these girls like China and them, and these dope boys is out here giving them a lot of money, a lot of them are prepping them up for prostitution. So what they'll do is, I know because I used to be a cocktail waitress in some of these clubs. And y'all see how I look? Oh, trust and believe, they try to turn me into one of them. Oh, get up there on the pole, sweetie. You cute. No, I'll take my little cocktail waitress tips. I'm good right here. Okay? Because I know what y'all motherfuckers is about. Next thing you know, you find this girl up in some ditch somewhere. Y'all ain't finna do that shit to me. Okay? So when I was 21 and I used to do a little cocktail waitressing in some of these clubs, I seen how some of these girls will be there for about 6 months and they'll never come back again. Because those same dough boys will go up in there. This is what they do. They go up in there and they keep spending on a particular girl. They usually have a target type of women. They watch how you interact with the other men. They see how easy you are, as far as, are you approachable? Are you sweet? Do you look like you're easy to coerce? Stuff like that. They'll start tricking on you. They'll start coming to the club, giving you a lot of money. But it's for a reason. So what happened is, they'll start to do things like this. Hey, you know me. Because he'll be a regular. You know me. Hey, we about to have a party. What do you call those parties? A private party. A bachelor party. A wedding party. Any type of party where they just need your ass to come by yourself and come do the party. You go there, you do the party. Next thing you know, you dancing for a bunch of men in one room with no protection. Because you don't got the bouncers no more. You're not at the club no more. Now you're in somebody's house. Okay? So when they see you come to the house, they're like, okay, yeah, she's a shoo-in. So next thing you know, they're going to ask you, can you do a little small favor? Can you just dance for my little man right here? Just in the room, in the back room, just for him, and I'll pay you. I'll pay you real good. I got you. Next thing you know, the man in the back room that he take you to, he asking you for small favors. Well, can you just rub me down there just for a little while? I got you. I'm gonna pay you real well. Just do a little knob slob or whatever you call it. So being that she's young, she's easily impressionable. And then she see a wad of cash sitting over there. All reason go out the window. Now the cognitive dissonance kicks in. Once that cognitive dissonance kicks in, the brain splits. So now the brain is going to allow you to do the bad deed and still feel good. This is how prostitution is being done, and the mind can work with it. After a while, when you do it so much, it eats at you so much that you can't take it no more. Now you need something to calm the cognitive dissonance. So they'll push alcohol in your face. They'll push weed in your face. They'll push cocaine, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. And this is how this cycle continues. It starts from somewhere, and it usually looks innocent at first, but there's always a long-term agenda. So now you're like, okay, well, Carmen, you're doing the extreme. This is not what's really happening with all the chicks. I'm giving you different scenarios of how it ends up. Same thing with the woman at the golf course. This girl sending her say, oh, well, don't go to clubs to meet guys. You know, I go to the grocery store. How often are you going to be able to meet a baller at a grocery store? This is such bad advice. She's giving y'all horrible fucking advice. So now, how are you going to know if a guy has money just based off of a nice car? He pulls up in a nice BMW at the grocery store, and you thinking, oh, this is my chance. So now he sees you a gold digger. You get in his nice car. He gas you up. Come to find out it's his wife's fucking car. He gave you $20, made you feel like you got a little bit of money, tell you to come back out with him. He buys you a nice little outfit. You thinking he got money. Next thing you know, you find out it's his wife's debit card you've been using, and she looking for your ass. Then what? This is why these young chicks end up in ditches and in freaking bottoms of rivers. Play with it if you want to. A lot of black women are turning up unalived because they stupid. And they listening to these sprinkle chicks and these princella bitches that be telling you pop off at men and try to take their money and all this bullshit. These men are gonna freaking unalive your ass. You can't just take people money and think there's not gonna be a price to pay for this shit, or it's gonna be one of his wives or one of his psychotic girlfriends. If he got all this money and he just giving it away, you don't think it's gonna be a bunch of other chicks trying to get that same money from him? Get your own bag. I'd rather you be a bimbo narcissist bragging about your own bag, at least you're alive, than to be underneath some man's balls for a couple of dollars with this sprinkle bullshit. Wake the fuck up. This is not what it's supposed to be for women. You are degrading yourself. And it's like, well, the whole agenda is because I want to be his wife. The 6 figures, the 6 inches, and what's the 6 credit score, right? That's the 666. 666 is the devil number. So you want to be a wife of a baller, and you think that that's going to be so easy to attract. If he's going to be all of this and all of this hot sedity man, chances are he's going to be picking the cream of the crop. He wants somebody that comes from a good home, that he can brag about, that he can take out on the town. If you just an average girl, fake hair, your body's all yeah, your face is yeah, what do you think? He gonna come to the grocery store to look for you? I'm just saying. Now I'm going to get on some Six the Goddess type stuff. She be like, listen, women, y'all wanted these high value men, y'all better get a high value body and not the fake ones. Go to the gym, work your ass off, fix your face, stop having the resting bitch face on, fix your hair, grow your hair, even if it's short, make it healthy. Do what you need to do to get them golf playing type men, if that's what you're trying to attract. But half those women on those channels that's in the comments, how can I get $100 from him? How can I get him to pay me? I got a bill due for $300. What can I tell him? I'm dating this old guy. He's really ugly, and I don't know what else to tell him so that he'll believe I really like his old ugly ass. If you gotta type that craziness in the comments, your life is fucked up. If you got to go search some 60-year-old balls to pay a $300 bill, you got to get your life together, honey. And don't say you can't do it. Because I got 3 kids and a grandbaby. And I did it somehow. I'm not saying I'm fully where I need to be, but I figured it out. And it wasn't under some man's crackly, smelly, musty balls. Okay? Not no old, decrepit, collecting Social Security ass man. No, ma'am. You're not going to get me to do that on a bad day. You're not going to get me to do that on my worst day. You should be embarrassed. Get some scruples about yourself. This is not the 1950s where women couldn't even bat an eyelash at somebody without getting crucified. You have ability now. And then you want the cream of the crop type of man. You want the ones that got the whole bunch. If you begging for $300 for a bill from a man, you can't be picky. At this point, you cannot be picky. And these women be asking some weird questions and still picky. Still picky. And she's telling them, instead of telling them the truth, she's telling them, oh, well, if you need $300, you're going to have to go on a couple of dates with him first and probably get dressed up and sound like a sweet girl. Like, you got to do all of that for $300? No. I'm sorry. You better off getting a credit card for $300. You can get an unsecured credit card and get $300 and get your life together and figure it out. Go work at Red Lobster. I worked at IHOP and made good tips when I was in my 20s. Okay? And it was enough to feed them babies. I would drop them off at my narcissistic mom's house, dealt with her crazy ass. She was crazy, but she watched them kids. She watched them for 5 hours. I worked at the seafood restaurant called Harbor Inn. And then I worked there for 4 hours. And then I would go work at Red Lobster for another 3 hours. And I'll come home and my pockets was $200 in tips per day. Play with it if you want to. Y'all want to be picky. Y'all want to be picky about what kind of jobs you can get. Go work in the warehouse overnight. Put your kids to sleep. If you got a 15-year-old and the rest of them are smaller, the 15-year-old can watch them at night while you take your ass in a freaking warehouse. I don't care if it's 100 degrees. And you work your way up to management. Or you use that money to put yourself back in school. Go to online college. They got medical assistant degrees. Medical billing and coding. For 4 months, you can take your ass, pay $400 online, $50 a month with Ashford College. Don't play with it. Y'all making excuses. You can get a medical billing degree in 4 months and have a job online, paying you $21 an hour and still be able to have enough money to feed your kids. And even if that's not enough, you take that medical billing coding and maybe work 1 day at a warehouse job or Uber or waitressing. Until you get to the level, y'all just want to take the shortcut. Y'all want to do the automatic processing of the brain instead of sitting down and control processing and learning how to prioritize what you need to do for your life. This is why I'm getting hot. Let me fix my air conditioner. Hold on. There comes a point in your life where you got to realize some of the decisions you're making is setting you up for failure. Begging people for money, I don't care if it's a man or a woman, is setting yourself up for failure because it's not steady income, it's not steady money. So you're setting yourself up to be a beggar with the hopes that one of the people that you beg is going to say, okay, come on, let me take you in like a spoiled, a stray puppy and take care of you permanently. That's a big bet on your life with no guarantee. And one of the things that could be possible that can come out of it is he getting sick of your ass and unaliving you. Because when you start taking people money, they start feeling some type of way. So, sorry. It be sounding good at first. And they say, oh, you just take people money. Until you come across that weird nigga, that weird dude that wants you to do a whole lot of stuff for a little bit of change. It's gonna traumatize you. I've never luckily had no really crazy men in my life like that would send me up somebody's river. But the thing about me is I've always been scared of drugs. Because I seen what it did to my father and my sister. My sister died of a drug overdose. So, luckily, I had some close calls. But I never dealt in no serious drugs. Some of y'all women, y'all on drugs. Y'all doing that Percocet, y'all doing that Molly, y'all doing that other stuff, Xanax and all that craziness. And y'all gonna come across that right man who gonna give y'all some pills and send y'all up the creek. I'm not wishing bad on y'all. I'm not. I'm giving y'all the real. Y'all listening to these dumb ditzy. These women are ditzy online. Some of these women like Sprinkle. You could tell by her conversation she's ditzy as hell. When you ask her a question, she don't even really have no oomph, no emphasis on the answer. She just goes, um, just tell him you're babysitting. Just like, the stuff just comes off the top of her head. She don't even be thinking about it. She don't even have a degree in coaching. She ain't got no certificate in nothing, no psychology. You can go take a short course in coaching people, giving them good advice, like how Tony Gaskin did it. I respect him. He's not a psychologist, but he learned the business of coaching and understanding the dynamics of understanding how people operate. Men are not tools to be used, because that comes back on you. A man is a natural provider, but is doing it in his nature, in his way. If you try to force a man to take care of you the way you want him to take care of you, it's not going to end well. And I'm telling you from experience. Men going to take care of you the way he see fit, with the way his budget is, the way he likes to spend money. So if he's frugal, he's still going to provide, but he going to provide you a frugal lifestyle. So stop trying to act like everybody that got money want to spend it. The reason why they have money is because they're not spending it. And they ain't spending it on your ass to be buying frugal shit, to be buying, not frugal, wasteful shit. Because y'all be saying, oh, I got $300 for this bill, but I also want to spend $200 on this shoe that I saw. Don't even know if the shoe gonna fit your flat foot. But you're going to spend all this kind of money to buy the shoe. And then he take you to the mall, buy the shoe. And you're like, I don't know if I like it. He already done spent his credit card. He looking at you all kind of side eye like, bitch, this pussy better be real good, because I'm finna fuck your ass up. They ain't going to tell you this stuff. They going to look at you and be like, all right, baby. But at the end of the day, you keep doing it. Eventually, it's going to add up. And when men don't communicate well. A lot of men don't tell you what's on their mind. They're going to let you feel it. And how they're going to let you feel it is through punishment. Men are mostly based on reward punishment systems. That's how they operate, because they're logical thinkers. All that emotional processing, they leave that for us. So they would hope that you're smart enough to understand the emotional part of, he don't want to play your fucking game. It's just that simple. We're overcomplicating this shit. We're sitting there talking about, well, if I tell him nicely this, he might want to do this. He's going to play the fantasy, because men like fantasy sex, right? They like to, he don't want to feel like it's a chore. So he's going to go along with it. But in the back of his mind, he doesn't like what you're doing, because he's losing something. It's just like the liability asset system. The more you pull out of a bank account that has money, the more liability you put onto that situation, because now you're taking and you're not putting back. So the sex you're giving him is only putting back temporarily for that moment, but he lost the money that he's never going to get back. That money gone. Especially if it's going on a pair of shoes, he's going to be pissed. If he's paying your bill, he might feel a little bit better, because now he knows it's a service that's going to last for a whole month. But if he buys you an item and then he sees that you really don't really need it and you might wear it once in a while, after a while he's going to feel some type of way. And he's going to start counting your pockets. He's going to start counting how much he spent on you. And let it be another man buying you shit too. Oh, he's going to start counting, well, where did she get that extra pocketbook when she was just crying broke the other day? Now all of a sudden she got 2 pocketbooks. I didn't buy her that other pocketbook. So now you're crouching on his jealousy tendencies. So now he's going to become possessive. And then you're going to start feeling some type of way when he wants to check on your where are you every time, every point of the day, because now you become a possession because he's paid for it, right? But now you got this other guy who's got more money, or maybe not as frugal, who wants to spend money on you. And you like, oh, well, let me see what's over here, like a little dodo bird. So you go fucking with this dude. Now this dude pissed off. He feels some type of way, like something's going on. I could feel it. Next thing you know, you got this one on speed dial, ready to do what you ask. But this one is a problem. So now you're putting this one's life in danger, your life in danger, your possible baby's life in danger. He might come to the house and unalive every goddamn body. Don't play with it, because my father did it to my mother. Luckily, she didn't die, but she was in a coma for a month, and so was her boyfriend that she was cheating on my father with. He put them both in a coma. I have seen it with my own eyes. I had to testify against my father for almost unaliving my mom for cheating. So y'all have to stop playing with these men. I'm not on the men's side. I'm just saying. I know some of these men ain't wrapped too tight, and y'all out here playing with people's pockets, doing all these hustling games, this mental manipulation. Just stop it. Go out there and work for your own shit. You will gain more respect from a respectable man. And you know what's so funny? When you do it the right way, what you're seeking in your vibration, as far as, like, let's say you want this man that's going to provide, he's going to come naturally to you because you're doing it the right way. You're going on your purpose, and you're using what you are given, your God-given talent, your own, your own capabilities and abilities, right? And you're obtaining those goals, maybe slowly, but what's going to happen is you get to keep your pride and your dignity. So now if this man come along trying to say you ain't nothing but a piece of shit, you could feel like, okay, well, that ain't true, because this is what I do, this is what I've earned, this is my accomplishment. It may not match yours, but sir, at least I'm doing something. But if you ain't doing shit but sitting on your ass and collecting his money and opening your legs, when he calls you a piece of shit, you're gonna believe it. You're gonna feel that it's gonna ring true in your brain. Okay? Y'all keep listening to that dumb sprinkle bitch. While you burying your babies, she's sipping pina colada with her husband, collecting y'all money from her YouTube ads and all her YouTube merch. That you gullible women, y'all women some gullible women. I understand it probably would have worked about 10 years, maybe about, okay, I'm 50, so 30 years ago I was 20. I'm gonna be 50 in November. 30 years ago I was 20. So 20, 30, 40 years ago, that little shit would have worked. Because money was plentiful. Resources was plentiful. I could buy a whole bag of candy for 25 cents back then. Okay? Money ain't coming tight. It's not like that no more. It's after pandemic too, people is tight on money. Tight. You gotta have your money, sweetheart. Okay? Look at that YouTube, I forgot the girl name. This crazy black girl married to this big buffoonery white man. And I say he's buffoonery because he was a bum when she met him. And she's a loony bin. And they got together and she went on YouTube and made millions of dollars saying that it's better to marry a white man. Had all y'all gullible black women run into the internet. I ain't gonna front. It sound good. It sound good. But when you have intellect, you don't jump on something and just say, yeah, that's it. You think about it. You observe for a while. You take notes. And you compare and contrast. So I started thinking, my two sisters were married to white men. One overdosed. This white man introduced her to street drugs. He ruined her life, basically, and now she's 6 feet under. He's still alive. The other white man my sister married from the military, he wasn't what she thought he was gonna be. Just put it like that. Because I still love my sister to death, and I don't want her. I don't think they're married anymore. But basically, she faced the same problem she would have faced with a black man. So, would I say that you're better off in an interracial relationship over a black and black relationship? I say it's 50-50 with both. Because I've been on that truck and I had a white trainer and he smelled like dead animal. Doo-doo. Okay? Every day I try to tell this man, his feet stunk, his ass stunk, his underarm stunk, his breath stunk. Every part of anything that oozed some level of air, profusely stinking. And I couldn't even get off the truck because they was going to end my CDL because I was in training. And I begged this man. I said, please take a shower. Please take a shower. And he refused to take a shower. He was on some Viking shit. Like, you going to smell my fur and you going to deal with it, bitch. Or you going to get the fuck off my truck. He didn't say it like that, but that was his attitude. Okay? The only thing that would have been worse is if he chain smoked. I would have been, just let me off on the highway. So, oh, and then I shadowed with this black guy. He was a little bit younger. We had a great time. He was drinking. He let me take some little breaks. No problem. It's, you get your good and your bad. You're going to find some decent white guys. Like, a lot of the people that helped me over the road, helped me when I was on the side of the highway, a lot of them was white men. But then I went to this truck stop. I had ended up hitting I hit a trash can. The back of my trailer hit a trash can. It was real late at night. And I heard a boom. The trash can like flew across the parking lot. It didn't do nothing, no damage. But this white guy gets out his truck and he's like, I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police. I can't believe you didn't see this trash can. Like, ugh. Like I done killed somebody. So I was like, oh my God, shut the... Like in my mind, I wanted to say shut up, but I didn't want to be like, you know. This black guy came from all the way out on the other side of the fuel aisle, came all the way over and was like, are you good, sis? What's wrong? I was like, he about to call the cops on me for a trash can. And he was like, man, just leave. So I was trying to leave and the white guy jumps in front of the truck and was like, you can't leave. Wait for the police. So I already knew he was on some shit. The black guy went up to him and was like, not aggressive. He was like, hey, you know, I heard them talking. I was too scared to get out of the truck. This was a while back, a couple years ago. He was talking to the guy like, yo, you know, and I seen the guy like, no, but, excuse me. By the time all that ruckus went on, the people from the Loves came out to see what was happening. He tried to make a big stink to the manager. The manager looked around, was like, she came to me and she was like, girl, just go ahead with your truck, you good. And I left. But it taught me, just being in so many different scenarios, you're gonna find good and bad in all types of people. All types of people. So now you got this girl, Six the Goddess, talking about white people are this bad thing, this and this and this in a bad way. And then what people do, okay, so that's another level of cognitive dissonance that I was talking about. I didn't address that in my last video about cognitive dissonance because that goes into a different dynamic. You have a level of cognitive dissonance when it comes to immorality, doing things that are bad. So one of the things that we do, not we as in me and you, but people, they dehumanize other people for their purpose, for their selfish, immoral purpose. So you ever watch those shows like Gangster, American Gangster, you know, all those shows where the guy that's the gang lord or the leader just appears to be like this cold-blooded killer and he just unalives people with no conscience. The reason why they can get to that level in their mind is because, without cognitive dissonance, is because they've reasoned and found a way to reduce the level of cognitive dissonance by dehumanizing another person. So if I make this person, if I tell myself, internally justify that this person is not human, then anything I do, I won't feel guilty about it. You know what I'm saying? That's why when a guy sleeps with a girl and he has bad intentions, excuse me. When a guy sleeps with a girl and he has bad intentions, especially those serial rapists, they turn around in their mind and internally justify that that girl was a piece of shit. She was a whore. She was a slut. She didn't deserve love. She was a bad person. So that way, the bad deed that they did, they can sleep at night. It's been psychologically tested. When people do bad things, especially on that level, they tell themselves the other person is the bad person. Or even a guy who does domestic violence, or vice versa, the female who likes to put her hands on her boyfriend. She'll say things like, you made me do it. That's cognitive dissonance reasoning. They're reasoning to reduce the level of cognitive dissonance so that the guilt doesn't eat them up. A person that doesn't do that, as soon as they do the bad deed, they'll immediately feel guilt and shame, and they'll find a way to resolve the dissonance by saying, oh my God, please forgive me, I'm sorry. Or you'll see the immediate action of stopping the behavior. But when they try to, I almost choked. But when they try to reason the behavior, you'll see different ways they will tell themselves, or they'll try to externally justify their bad behavior. Does that make sense? Anyways, I hope that you ladies will start to do a little bit more reasonable rationale and not continue to exploit yourself in this type of way. Because like Six the Goddess, she has a lot of internal, I would say, past traumas. So it seems like somewhere in her life something happened where she was discriminated against, because the level of disgust and hatred that she talks when she talks about the other race, it seems more personal. You see what I'm saying? Like, she talks about overweight women and how overweight women don't deserve this love and da-da-da. Just a lot of craziness. The way she talks about racism is not like just bringing facts or statistics. It's on some, I can't see why a black woman or a black man will touch those people, and it's ridiculous. And I'm like, once you hear a person talks like that, you already know they're mentally ill. Why would you co-sign? This is why I said there's a lot of mentally ill people co-signing on other mentally ill people's bullshit. And we're sitting here, the rational thinkers, being surrounded by awful, ridiculous, toxic mindsets. And they're okay with it. And they'll come and try to brainwash you with it and be like, let me throw my toxic bullshit your way. And these people are eating it up like gummy bears. Once you come and when I listen to her videos, it's now more of a learning for me on the type of clients I'm going to be seeing. Because I don't care how these women are packaged. Some of them are drop dead gorgeous and some of them are not so gorgeous. And then when they open their mouth and you hear the amount of insanity, I'm like this one girl named Cynthia G. She used to say how black, dusty, trash bag bandits was so horrible of a people, but then in the same breath, cognitive dissonance, she'll say, but I'll fuck them though, they got some good dick though. What? Like, how can you be okay going online on a public platform saying you open your vagina to a bunch of dinglings? She didn't say, well, I'll marry a good black guy. She just said, I'll fuck them though, they got some good dingling, I'll fuck them and send them home. You're now saying you are a whole hoe in these streets, and you're okay with that. And in the same breath, you say that they're a bum. I just, it's weird. We're living in a really unique times, because I'm gonna get off this YouTube. We're living in unique times because we as humans are social creatures. It's innate in us to be tribal, to come together. Even the most antisocial, quiet human, innately, if you could find someone like-minded as that person, they will come together tribally, in group, out of group, group think, all of it. Because collectively we're one conscious, right, as humans. It's good and it's bad. Because what happens is, when something bad is introduced into the culture, we as humans, we flock to anything that a bunch of people tend to flock to. So what YouTube does is it understands the algorithm that the people that are flocking to the garbage, that's going to be the culture. That's where the money's at. But the people that want to hear like something that's knowledgeable, that's not too popular, that's not where the money's at. So you would have to get a gimmick to get them to get to your level of thinking. But it's been shown that if you want people to do something for you, do small tasks. Ask them for small things at a time. You will never get change from a person when you just throw it all at them. So in order for change to come, it has to come in drips. That's why I don't throw everything to y'all just like, here, take it all. I just tell y'all little by little, so that it starts to sink into the mind slowly, and you start to say, okay, something triggered when I had a real life experience, and I remember she talked about cognitive dissonance. Okay, now it makes sense. So now when you hear the next topic of cognitive dissonance, or you see it on a TV screen where you hear somebody unalive somebody in a building, and then they psychologically evaluate him and they say he had no level of cognitive dissonance, now it said, oh, now I see why he was able to kill all them people. This is why the YouTube algorithm is so crazy on the toxic trait. Is because once humans see a culture is forming, they flock to it because innately we are group thinkers. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Humans are group thinkers. They come together collectively. So that's why we develop culture. Culture is how you identify with yourself. So in order for me to identify with myself, I have to see some likeness or commonalities in another individual. That's how you compare and contrast. So if someone is doing something crazy like jumping off a building, that teaches you, okay, jumping off a building will make me unalive. A child learns not to touch the stove if he sees the parent touch the stove and something bad happens to the parent. Or if a child sees another child touch a stove and that child got burnt, that child is going to learn from that child's mistake, don't touch the stove. This is how we learn from each other. Cognitive abilities, by watching one another. This is how we grow. But this is how we also have our downfall. And once we realize we are observing and taking in things that are not beneficial to our mindset of growth, that will be your downfall. And that's what YouTube and these social media streets understand about marketing. That if we can market things that people are attracted to, that's where the money's at. So we will market the buffoonery because that's what people will be quick to click on. If I have a video that looks like it's an hour long explaining some psychological crap, and then I have a video that's 10 minutes where this girl is shaking her rump shaker to the point where you could see every piece of pooty crack in her ass, who you think gonna click? Who you think they're gonna click on? It's gonna be millions of views on the booty crack versus 30 views on psychological breakdowns. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is what we're dealing with. We're living in a bunch of buffoonery time frames. We're living in the land of buffoonery. Coonery, buffoonery, bullshit. Bullshit sells. That's what we living in the times. This is why these women are opening their crack ass for money. Because this is the culture. We've been upgraded to be downgraded. And this is why y'all need to wake up and realize this is just a cycling. All of this is going to cycle itself out. So the smart people, y'all just sit back, eat your bonbons and watch the shit unfold. Watch the shit crumble. Watch all the freaking manosphere, the hot buffoonery females. Watch it all crumble. Because that's where it's going, straight to fucking hell in a handbasket. Sorry for cursing. But to wrap this up, I was telling y'all about my ex. He wanted to come together, we share this life or whatever, right? But like I said, when he started doing that low vibrational thinking about every time there's an argument, you're bringing up money, you're bringing up what you've done for me in the past and all this crap, and not taking in all that I've brought to you. I don't look at relationship as only monetary. I look at the whole relationship in a transaction between a woman and a man, or a man, or whatever relationship. If you're offering people something, look at your worth, whether it's monetary, whether it's partially monetary. There's other things in a relationship that makes a relationship. Does that make sense? So if you're bringing a level of energy where it's happy, you're bringing bright ideas, you're showing a person something that they never knew before. Like, there's so much you could bring into a relationship. Acts of service, you constantly going to the store, buying groceries, helping the person, alleviating. I used to meal prep for a whole week. Y'all see me do it on the truck. My ex would never cook. He'll cook once in a while. He might grill a 2-piece of chicken. And I'm like, do you know how great it is to meal prep? How much it will save a lot of your time. You come home, you dog tired, you eating that crap, diarrhea on the toilet, when you could eat real food. I will meal prep. He'll come home, it'll be bowls, all organized and shit. He like, damn, this girl done put my whole fridge together. So I'm like, when you start bringing up monetary bullshit, bring up the amount of time it spends in that kitchen meal prepping, amount of groceries it takes to buy all that stuff. Well, I ain't asked you to do that. It's not about what you ask. It's about what I bring to the table. So you're not going to take that away from me. And this is what people don't realize. These women out here, y'all think that people only worth money. There's more that a man brings to the table. He brings protection. He brings valid wisdom. That's if he's a good man. You see what I'm saying? He could raise your boys if he's understanding how to raise a young man. That is a valuable tool, because if he raises that boy child that's not his, and that boy child comes back and bring you a wealthy family, meaning an abundant, not financially, he knows how to pick a woman, so he brings back a good family structure that you don't have to worry and wake up late at night getting a phone call that your son went upside his wife's head and you got to go down to the precinct to bail his dumb ass out because he didn't have a good structured home. These are the future things that a man can offer your child that you may not have the capability of doing, is raising a son. That is not an easy job. Let me tell you about my situation, okay? My son gave me a hard time when he became a teenager. I needed his father's help. So this is things you have to understand as females. And this is why I have to start making more videos catering to addressing females in the opposition of the advice that's being given out on these YouTube streets and these TikTok streets that is going to get y'all ended up in somebody's fucking ditch, under somebody's ocean. Y'all are not out here in the 1950s, Handmaid's Tale, to be out here being somebody's sex slave for the highest bidder. Get your life together and stop selling your coochie. That's all I have to say. Love y'all much. I gotta go. I gotta get my day started. Well, my night started. I have a couple of tasks I need to do and some homework. So leave me a comment. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.